Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Professor Norman Cornett, religious studies scholar and specialist on the relationship between aesthetics and spirituality, between the fine arts and spirituality, with the work of Jackie Lacoursière. When I look at this painting, I immediately think of the French novelist Stendhal. In the mid-1800s, he published a novel that is now considered one of the benchmarks in French literature, and it's entitled The Red and the Black. It was referring the red to the military, the soldiers of the French, and the black to the clergy. And this clash and these classes of mid-19th century French society, namely the military caste and the clerical caste. And this all happened in that literary movement known as Romanticism. And for many of us, we think of Romanticism. This must mean romance. It's lovey-dovey. It's a liver quiver. But no, the literary Romantic movement was essentially inspired by, rather than looking out at the objective world, looking inward at the subjective universe inside each human being as the source of inspiration for the creative arts, including literature. I must also say, in the case of this painting by Jackie Lacoursière, the technique she employed is all the more interesting because here she uses dripping, which made famous in contemporary art by Jackson Pollock. She has poured the pigment, the fluid, onto the canvas, and she has moved it, but she's also intervened with her fingers and with a spatula. So there is that dynamic, that physicality in this creation. As well, the artist has entitled this Geisha. What an ironic title, because she presents herself as a woman, feminine artist, and in this work wishes, as she herself says to me, to emphasize the feminine condition, which explains the contours, the curves, the fluidity. In fact, she employed fluid acrylic purposely, so as Marshall McLuhan said, the media is the message. Well, in the case of Jackie Lacoursière's Geisha, the medium, fluid acrylic, is the message that she wants to communicate about the fluidity of the feminine condition. She's also very upfront and honest, because the work is entitled Geisha, that this is about women and femininity. So, do we understand hereby that this is a fissure that is a prime referent to female sexuality? When one knows the thought, the philosophy of Jackie Lacoursière, such as I do to a small degree in dialoguing with her, I understand that this work is first and foremost her way of demythologizing feminine sexuality. feminine sexual desire, the feminine gaze, and the feminine condition in relationship to the world. Why do I say to demythologize female sexuality? Here I am referencing one of the foremost theologians of the 20th century, the German theologian Reinhold Niebuhr, and his seminal essay, Demythologizing Jesus. There are so many barriers and walls built around Jesus, and it seems that Jackie Lacoursière is herself, through her art, demythologizing, if not deconstructing, female sexuality and female desire. In her work, Geisha, I invite you to discover it on Facebook, Jackie Lacoursière, on YouTube, Jackie Lacoursière. And when I look at the red and the black, I realize that rather than considering this a clash, a conflict for Jackie Lacoursière, to be a woman, to be feminine, to be sexual is a synergy. I'm Professor Norman Cornett, religious studies scholar and specialist on the relationship between aesthetics and spirituality.